You're watching The Big Whoop Show with your host, Aaron Henderson and Melanie Sanchez. Film and fashion, music and trends, art and theater. Today's guest is Ryan Luna. Grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's get whooping.
Hello and welcome to The Big Whoop, your number one stop for entertainment news. I'm Melanie Sanchez from John Adams High School.
And I'm Aaron Henderson, also from John Adams High School. Before we dive into the show, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on since our last show.
So, our last show was junior year. Junior year overall, to recap, was kind of difficult,
It was hard,
especially because of COVID.
Yeah.
Exactly. But now that we're back, how's your senior year going?
I really did miss the in-person part of COVID. Our CTE was in person,
Right.
but our regular classes were not in person. So I'm really enjoying my senior year.
Really? Senior year is going good. Besides the college applications, that's
I
not
feel
right.
like that's the most stressful part about it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just graduate.
Right, but overall it's going pretty well. On November 5th, Travis Scott performed at the Astroworld Music Festival in Houston. At least 8 people died as the crowd compressed towards the stage. The youngest victim was only 14 years old. The cause of chaos is not exactly clear, but it is being investigated. Meanwhile, several lawsuits are being filed against Travis Scott for this incident. So, Aaron, what do you think about the whole thing that went down at Travis Scott's concert?
That was so sad. I didn't know that a 14-year-old died in there.
Yeah, it was
that
crazy.
really just took me away. That was so sad.
Yeah, it really was. And it just sucks that we don't know exactly what caused the death.
Well, I know the VIP, because I did see some of them on social media, some of the videos, and I know the VIP section got taken over by the crowd.
Yeah.
So that was where most of the main incidents were happening.
Right.
And then I also know people were mad at Travis because he kept singing and performing while all of this was going on.
Right. So do you think it's good that Travis Scott is getting lawsuits filed against him? Do you think it's his fault or not his fault?
I feel to a certain extent it is, but then I also, on the other hand, I can see that it's not so much of his fault because as a performer, it was 50,000 people. How could you really point out what was going on? But then he also did post on his Instagram that he was trying to get in contact with the 8 victims' families to help with the medical bill, funeral arrangements. So I know
really?
he did that.
Oh, okay.
The sibling trio from South Bend called Girl Named Tom learned Tuesday night that they advanced yet again on the NBC singing competition, The Voice. They won over viewers with their version of Creep, featuring their signature harmonies, and now they're rolling on to the next round. So Melanie, how do you feel that we have someone from South Bend representing us on The Voice?
I think it's really cool that they're all from South Bend because it just shows that, we've said before, that you can come from a small place and I guess make it big, if that makes sense. Get recognition for what you do. So I think that's pretty cool.
And I actually heard them on The Voice, and they're pretty good.
They are?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, so is it 2 girls and 1 guy, or?
It's 2 guys and 1 girl.
Oh, that's very interesting. Due to COVID, Clay Theater live performances have been put on hold, but now that things are opening up more, the students are working harder than ever to compete in theater regionals at Bethel University.
Like many other live events, Clay Theater had been put on hold for the last 1.5 years due to COVID. Now, with one of their first performances since shutting down, the students are working hard to prepare for regionals at Bethel University.
We have worked on this for the past 2 months at most. We have incorporated a lot of interpretive movement and stuff like that. And we are currently getting ready for regionals at Bethel College with all the other high school districts who do theater.
For the rules of the competition, the shows all have to be under 45 minutes. So one of the biggest challenges are taking the taking all the lines and kind of condensing them, making them a little smaller just so we can fit it into that whole time frame. A lot of people usually just do a one-act play, but we usually do a full-length play, and we have to cut it down a little bit to try and keep in the 45-minute timeline. So that was definitely one of the biggest challenges during this.
This has been an incredible experience. COVID really knocked out theater, and we were able to start the season with one act. They worked so hard because we rehearse every single day for at least 2 hours. Our professional costumer is Paris Thomas. She's been instrumental to the design as well as the Cassidy collection.
For The Big Whoop, I'm Mason Cuevas.
So Aaron, what do you think about Clay and like their live performances, you know, being kind of weird last year because of COVID?
I'm actually happy that they honestly can go back to like the new norm of being on a set, you know, acting, you know, making the costumes and all that stuff. So I'm really happy that they can do that now.
I mean, speaking of costumes, apparently Paris Joe Thomas, a professional fashion designer, is actually making custom costumes for them, which is pretty cool. And she's also, you know, graduated from Southland School. So we love that, you know, she's not only local, but, you know, she's doing good things too. Like, she's literally a professional fashion designer.
I can't wait to see what their costumes will look like.
Right? I think it's what's going to make the play look even better than like from a normal play, if that makes sense. It'll probably make it look good.
Speaking of acting, here's Jalen with the latest movie review.
Last week, Marvel released its newest movie, The Eternals. Now, this movie didn't do too well in terms of reviews, so I had to see it for myself to see what it was all about. And honestly, I didn't think it was that bad, but I did have a few problems with it though. In my opinion, I think the movie was a little bit too long and the pacing was an issue. Every time the plot started to advance, the movie would do a flashback or it would immediately stop, and it just made the movie feel like a drag. But that was really the only thing I could think of that I didn't like about this movie. I think the writing in this movie was absolutely fantastic. Each character in the movie had their own arc that they had to get through, and they were all super entertaining to watch. I honestly don't think I can pick a favorite character because they were all so unique and so good in their own ways. Each character in the movie had different abilities, and seeing how they would use those abilities in a fight was absolutely astounding. Contrary to the majority of the reviews this movie got, I think it was really good and definitely worth the watch.
So speaking of Marvel, Tom is actually coming out with a new movie, Spider-Man, on December 17th. So are you excited about that?
Yeah, I actually am excited because, you know, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. So
yeah, he's mine too.
And to be honest, like all the movies so far revolving around Spider-Man are pretty good. So. And
he also has Zendaya joining the movie as his girlfriend.
Right, that's true. Have you ever had trouble remembering song lyrics? Well, you're not alone. Here's Isaiah with Finish the Lyrics.
What's up, y'all? You already know who it is. It's Isaiah here. We're going to be doing Finish the Lyrics. Stay tuned in. So we're going to do Finish the Lyrics. You ready? All right. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak.
I lose on myself and go crazy.
No good.
I can swallow a bottle of all in a, feel like Godzilla.
Hit the deck like a car dealer. My whole squad's in here walking around the party, a cross between a zombie apocalypse and Bit Bobby. Ray J, and which is probably the same reason I wrestle Matey Shady. I'm posseed up. Consider it to cross me a cause a mistake if they sleep in on me up. Better get insomnia. ADAT hydroxycut. Pass MKA with the make it melee finish.
He's on fire!
Better reach it. Wait, Mayday. This beat's so crazy. Ray J, AJ. Oh, watching all the way to the bank. I play fames and I got tame and placate the monster.
You tough. That's tough.
We pop out at your party.
I'm with the gang, and it's gonna be a robbery. So tuck your chain. I gotta sing the whole thing.
Nah, you good. That was good.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Salt and pepper and every day up in a limousine.
Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
I took the half and you took the whole.
Oh, dang.
I forgot what's next, bro. I know it. Come on.
Keep going then.
I took the half and you took the whole thing. Slow down.
Yes, sir. Good stuff.
Oh, don't you dare look back. Just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back.
shut up and let's be free.
What did he say?
No.
I know you're not no good for me, but
You look so good to me. Don't need another broken heart or a sleepless night. God, please guide me right. She looks like the girl of my dreams.
Said I'm sorry, mama.
I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight I'm cleaning out your closet, my closet. Cleaning out my closet.
There we go. There we go.
Flashback.
I never meant to hurt you.
End of flashback.
And now in my head like, yeah.
Pulling out the coupe at the lot. 12 swat.
The box, got the stick in the box. Fill up for that fuel. I'ma get lazy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it for Finish the Lyrics. Hope you had fun. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.
Last week, student artists at IU South Bend held their annual art sale. Andrew Massacre visited their gallery to see what was on display.
Art is the expression of an artist's emotions and true self. IUSB is taking their talent and displaying it at their very own art sale at the Education and Arts Building. Last week, the community got a chance to take home a piece of that expression.
Every student is kind of responsible for a certain part of the art sale, as this is, one of our biggest projects of the year. Good experience, kind of hands-on, and especially when this is a community event, awesome experience to really have a platform to present your artwork and actually get some recognition and some monetary, compensation for the hard work that these students have been doing. Even if we do have a lot of graduating students that are presenting work and selling work, I mean, they're getting a monetary cut right there, right off the bat, but that money's staying within the program and it's going to be there for the aid of future students that are coming in.
Students have made many eye-catching works of art. People can come in and admire the art and/or purchase it too.
So we have a variety of artwork in the sale, and the art sale is open to all students, all students who've taken an art class, to put their work in the art sale. All different media, drawing, painting, printmaking, ceramics, photography, and then we also have a sculpture, and then we also have used books. So we have some art books that are kind of fun to buy. So if you sell your work, you get 65% of the sales price, and you get to decide how much it costs, and then 35% goes to student scholarships. Then they also, work really hard on their artwork. And if you're an art student watching this, you know that how much passion and heart goes into your artwork. And the students really do work hard in making the artwork.
For The Big Whoop, I'm Andrew Massacre.
So Melanie, how do you feel about all of the student artists who were at the event?
I think it's cool because, they, through their art, they're really creative and they just, they really paint whatever they want, and I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Next up, Daniel Rodriguez brings you his thoughts on the relatively unknown game, Aragami II, in his latest review.
Aragami II is a multi-platform third-person stealth game. The player is one of the last elite warriors of their kin, the Aragami. The Aragami control a supernatural power called Shadow Essence, a mystical power which grants the ability to control the shadows. With this power, the Aragami can complete missions and assignments made all along the valley to ensure the subsistence of the village and to free the Aragami from the invaders of their homeland. I've been playing this game a lot, and it's very fun. But in reality, I want to know why this game is actually fun. So let's go on ahead and take a look.
First, let's start with my favorite things in the game. It has a stealth mechanic, like if you go into the shadows, it reduces the chance of you getting spotted. There is also the fact that the game is not that complicated with its mechanics. Like if you get certain skill points, you can put them into things that you really need, like whispering, where you can attract enemies to your location so you can knock them out and hide them in a safe location where they cannot be spotted. This adds strategy into the game, and it also has co-op. This allows you to play with other players, so this means that you can have friends with you and have some fun with them. But to be honest, the game may be fun, but it lacks the willingness to drive you into the story. Only the combat and the stealth is really what I like about the game. So, in reality, I don't play the game for the story, I play it to have fun with friends or by myself with stealth or going all one-man army on the enemy. In other words, the game does really well with combat, but if you like to read, you can read the subtitles to understand the story because the game speaks in a different language, because the game likes to immerse you into the environment that it has created. Also, it can be interesting to read what is happening in the story. For the Big Whoop, I am Daniel Rodriguez.
Today we are excited to have in our studios a 2020 Riley graduate from our media program who is now pursuing a career in music. Please welcome Ryan Luna. So we're really happy to have you. How did you get started in music?
I think it was really passed down through family. I started playing drums. Well, that was the first thing. I started playing drums when I was around 3 years old. I think it wasn't up until I was around maybe 10 or so I started playing piano. And then I started listening to more music, like more genres, because I grew up listening to Pink Floyd, Bob Dylan, Cat Stevens, like just classic, mostly 70s music. And then it wasn't until around like 8th grade is when I got into the hip hop genre and even punk rock and just various different genres. And I noticed that the only thing that I really enjoyed doing was anything music related. And so, I mean, it goes on to say that, you know, whatever you enjoy doing the most is probably what you are destined to do for the rest of your life. And that's when I realized that that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So it started off pretty young, and I'm still doing it up to this day.
Nice.
Okay, so I had like checked you out, some of your music out, and I seen that you record a lot of different types of genres of music.
I do, yes.
So what's your favorite to record?
I think there's different elements to it. I think my favorite to record vocally would be anything indie alternative. My favorite to produce, because I do all my producing, audio engineering, mixing, writing, everything, anything in the hip hop genre. But when it comes to recording vocals, I love doing alternative or even punk rock. So yeah, so it's hard to say. It's kind of 50-50 in between, because I mainly make two different genres. I'm actually working on an album that's like, I don't even listen to country music, but I started making a country album. And it's just, yeah, it's very, I just want to be as diverse as possible. So, but yeah, I do. I mean, anybody who checks out my catalog, you'll see that it's very diverse.
So, since you mentioned that you want to do this long term, so what are your plans for the future?
So my goal is to, within the next year, I'm hoping that there'd be some kind of breakthrough in the next overcoming year, because I told myself that in the next 2 years after I graduate, I'm going to work on music nonstop until something happens. And if nothing happens, I'm going to go to school, study something that could help me and benefit me in music.
Right.
And if that works out, then, you know, there's no telling. So I think I'm definitely at a point where this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm very, like I said, very passionate about music, and I'm really excited. There's really, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but we can all hope for the best, because I want to make a difference. I want to make a real impact with music, because I feel that music is probably the most powerful way to communicate, and it's very therapeutic as well. So.
Okay, so we heard that you have got recognized by a manager.
Yes.
Now, how did that come about?
How did that come about? Funny story. I was so I currently work as a host at a dine-in restaurant, and I wasn't at work one day. He talked to one of the waitresses. I'm not sure as to. I think the waitress recognized him and said, "Hey, we have a coworker here that makes music, and it'd be, I mean, he'd appreciate it if you could like check out his music, and so he did, and he like was mind blown, and it like I wasn't there to see it, but that's how they described it to me. Like he was like really intrigued. So he ended up getting in contact with me. We talked and we met up on multiple occasions. And I think the biggest thing about being an artist is don't lose yourself seeking approval in other people, because you'll run into that a lot in the music industry. You'll have people who will try and tell you that if you want to do this, you have to do this. Because like for one example, if I'm going to make one certain type of music, you look at all of the most popular artists in that genre and you're like, you have to be just like them, you have to dress just like them, you have to act just like them. And I'm like, I just want to be me, you know? I just want to be me and make what I make, regardless of what the characteristics are that come with it. I just want to be as humble as I can, and that's something that I felt that he almost kind of encouraged me to not only, you know, he wanted me to be myself, but he also tried to
make sure
take,
you fit
then he tried to take creative control over certain things a lot, and I always enjoy having creative control under all of my work, because if somebody else is criticizing my work and telling me, no, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, it just drives me insane. And I feel like anybody can say the same thing.
Exactly.
If it's something that you're creating from the heart, you want it to be from you and not have other people try and misplace it into other things.
So like, I know the music industry is hard. Like, what are some challenges that you've faced?
I think the biggest thing is being so focused on it and almost prioritizing it over a lot of things. I've prioritized my music over people before, and it has really caused it's caused a lot of hardships. And for the time being, because I feel like at the start, this goes to anybody who's starting off with music, at the beginning of your career, you're going to work the most than you ever would following that. Just because that's when you're really hungry and you're like really motivated to get to this point. But once you finally get to the pinnacle, and you're not really putting all your focus into music. So that's why I find it very important it is okay to put time into music and also put time into spending time with your family, or if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, spend time with them. But I think it's really important to find somebody or talk to someone who can help you get on a routine, and that's what I had to do, because I was very unorganized, and especially working on my own, being a solo artist, independent. So I think that's probably the most difficult thing thus far. But as time goes on, it'll only get easier, just because you live and you learn.
Exactly.
So for any like upcoming artists, do you have any advice for them?
For anyone who is extremely, extremely passionate and they know that that's what they want to do, don't lose sight of that. Like don't listen to, I mean, you can take constructive feedback, but if you have people, I've had people tell me that I'm never going to be anything. And it's, for someone like me, I take things to the heart a lot. And I think that really put me down a lot. And it really made me not want to do music anymore. And to think that there's been so many times where I would have given up, and I didn't. I'm very grateful that I didn't, because I wouldn't be where I am today. And I feel like I'm at a point right now with music that I'm very optimistic about it. And so really, I think, as cliche as it sounds, do not give up. If you're really passionate about something, do not give up. Everything is possible. Everything is possible.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, good luck in your career, because you know the music industry is hard and it's kind of intimidating, especially since there's like a lot of people that are trying to rise as like artists, you know, upcoming artists, trying to get recognized. Anyways, thank you for joining us on our set.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for watching. And thank you for joining us on The Big Whoop. Be sure to check us out on the radio at WTL 91.7 FM in South Bend.
And be sure to follow us on social media by searching for SBS-TV WETL and visit our website at sbstvradio.org. Have a great day.